What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. And break down some very important resistance levels to be watching for. Break down how the charts are looking. In my personal opinion, what you should be watching for as time progresses. Before I break these up, all this information, before I talk about the news involving the markets, why Tesla is absolutely exploding, what you should be watching for as time goes on, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them. And the offer ends very soon in just one day. It ends tomorrow, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, for SPY, we have a very, very nice uptrend being established right over here off this bounce. And this thing is trying to continue to push, but we have this 510 resistance to be watching for. If we break past 510, we're easily going up to the 512s. If we fail at 510, we're going to retrace back down to about the 506.5 to 507 area. So it all depends on if we get a rejection off 510 or not. As of right now, it's trying to push higher, so we'll see if we try to break it, but we're showing some life. But there are other stocks out there like Tesla, which are absolutely exploding. Tesla's currently up 13%, trying to push higher. So I'm going to break down why this is happening, what you should be watching for in the markets, and how things look in my personal opinion. So today's Monday, April 29th, 2024. An hour after the market opens, we have the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index coming out. That's going to be very important. And at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 hours after the market basically opens, we have the 3-month and 6-month bill auctions also coming out. For Tuesday, don't forget that we have some more minor data, but then by Wednesday, things get very serious once we have Jerome Powell speaking. So keep that in your calendars, guys. Wednesday, May 1st, we have the FOMC meeting. Anyways, going back for today, during the first hour and second hour of the trading day, look for some volatility. And then when it comes to earnings, we just had SoFi announced earnings. So for Monday, right here, we had SoFi. We also have Domino's Pizza. Don't forget that later on for the week, this is what the overall earnings calendar looks like. So you can take a screenshot of this if you guys want. But this is what it's looking like. So be prepared. And then this is SoFi, which is about to announce more details about its earnings. Q1 revenues at about 645 million, a 37% increase year over year. Net income also ended up exceeding expectations. It's looking pretty good. The EPS was also a beat. They did a lot better than expected. What else is good is their full year guidance has been raised to about $2.39 to about 243 billion, compared to what we saw from before. And the net income guidance is about 165 to 175 million. So that's above expectations. Pretty good earnings from SoFi so far, but we'll see if anything changes. Moving forward, well, right now the market is still up, continuing to try to push, but we have to watch resistance just to see how the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite are doing. From Aapl, we have some big earnings coming out. That's why Aapl is currently up right now. Don't forget that we have Aapl and Amzn announcing earnings very, very soon. Paramount Global's board is ready to remove their CEO from his role. That's something very important that's going on. And he said that he's not going to be on call when they report its earnings. That's some big news for them. And then two more things. Advertising is back. We have Meta, Snap, and Google all reporting their first quarter earnings. Once again, many of them have beaten their expectations. Saw a lot of improvements in the ad business. And that's after a very, very rough 2022. So that's very interesting to see. And then lastly, we have Tesla in China. Huge news came out. Elon Musk made a surprise trip to China. And when going there, there's a very, very big development that's happened. China as a country has removed restrictions on its cars, saying that they passed data security requirements. And now Tesla cars are already available in China, but they have to raise expectations because of the fact that the FSD is now expected to be available in the market soon. So China is once again getting rid of regulations which allows for Tesla to incorporate their FSD. And then on top of that, they also acquired their maps and navigation tools. That's also very useful because once they incorporate that, they could use that data for their FSD. That's why Tesla's exploding right now. We're seeing some very, very nice price action. So the question is, what's happening with the charts? Let's break these down real quick before I conclude the video. Right now, SPY is testing and fighting for this 510 area. It's been shopping here for the last 4 hours, been shopping at this 510 area. If we break it when the market opens, we're going to launch to 512. If you reject off this, we're coming down to 507.5 to 506. To me, it's looking like it's trying to fight and break it. So we have to wait and see. Will SPY break 510? So just be patient. It looks to me like it might actually go up to 512 if we are bullish. I do favor that a bit more as SPY is showing a lot of strength holding above the 509s very nicely. But let me just make it clear, 510 is going to be a tight resistance, and we'll have to see how SPY does from here. So let's see if we break it, guys. If we break it, it's going to be launching, so watch for that very carefully. Tesla has resistance at this 191 area. You guys can see it all the way up here continuing to soar. If we break the 191s, we can start heading towards 194.75 to basically 195. And if we fail to break that, we're going to be coming back down to 188. So watch that very, very carefully. So we have this resistance here as well, 192.5 and 195. I think that Tesla is going to be fighting for 190. We'll have to see if that could break or not. And then just be patient. Right now, the share price is still bullish. It could even try to push more later on. I wouldn't rule that out. Tesla's a monster. If it breaks the 192s, look for 195. If that breaks, we're heading towards 200. The charts to me looks like it might actually head towards 200, at least later on for the week, because we have this big imbalance to fill up here. So I still think that there's potential in Tesla. I don't think it's done just yet. And we'll have to see if we break the 191 to 192 resistance, that entire range. I might actually redraw this as a range instead, if anything. So we'll just have to see how Tesla does here. There's a lot of strength that's been building up, especially as we're starting to see these shorts getting squeezed, because this is once again an opposite reaction from what's been happening with all this previous data. So with that being said, we'll see how well Tesla holds up here. If we lose the 190 support, we're coming all the way down to 188. As of right now, it's showing strength. It has potential to break up, and watch and see if we can break the 191 range. And then 194.75 to 195 is coming next. So it looks pretty good in my opinion. For Nvda, Nvidia has been on a very, very nice uptrend, but it's tracing just a bit. Watch support currently at 874. Losing that would open the doors for 860 flat. So are we going to dip a little bit and try to bounce, or are we just going to break out from here? That we'll just have to wait and see. I see potential for this to go up to 900 in the future, but we could dip a little bit more first beforehand. So look and see if we grab liquidity right here in the 870s before we try to break out towards 900. Nvidia still looks bullish overall. It's still on an uptrend. The QQQ is at resistance at 433. If we break this, we're going up to 435 to 437. If we lose this, we're heading down towards 430. Overall, it's holding up very nicely, so watch as it's trying to fight this 433 resistance. If we reject here, we have a gap to fill all the way down to 431. If we break through this, we're going all the way up to 435 plus. So watch 433. We're at resistance right now in the QQQ. We'll see if this breaks or not. So be patient, guys. Give it some time, and we'll see how things go. For Aapl, we're breaking out very nicely on Aapl. Aapl has potential to go up to the mid 170s. We're currently holding up above our 200 EMA, so we'll have to see if this holds. If we lose 173.5, we're going to dip down to 172.5. But overall, the chart looks bullish, and I do expect it to actually fill in the balance and go up to 176 over the next couple of days, approaching its earnings. So I see more upside potential in Aapl. This could help the markets. Just for a few more, if you're looking at Supermicro, it has earnings coming up as well over the next couple of days. Look for a test of about 820 if we lose 840, and then if we bounce off that, we could still come up to fill this imbalance. So I still see upside potential in this. I don't think it's done just yet, and we'll just have to wait and see how it reacts to these different levels. In my opinion, the chart definitely has upside potential, and I'll see how that ends up looking, at least as time progresses from here. But here are some levels to watch for. It might dip a little bit before it tries to bounce. For a few more, like Coinbase is so right now. It came down exactly as I predicted, down to about 230. And if it holds 230, look for a bounce to fill this gap all the way up to 235 and eventually 240. If we lose support at 228, we're going to be dipping back down towards 225. But I do see a potential for this to bounce, so we'll have to see if that happens. Amazon is once again holding up very, very well. If we continue to break out, we're going to be going all the way up towards this imbalance at about 187. If we get rejected here, we're going to be dipping all the way down to 179, but I see potential for this to break out. So there's definitely potential. For Meta, Meta is dipping a little bit. Going to be looking for a test of 432 if we lose 435, and we'll have to see if it holds that. If it holds that and bounces, we could go back up to 450. If we lose 430, we turn back to bearish. So look for a little dip and see if we bounce off the 430 area. If that's the case, it's going to be bullish. If not, it is what it is. With that being said, guys, right now, SPY is continuing to try to break out. Watch 510, see if we break this. If it breaks, we're going to break out higher. That's going to be key for us. I see potential. Tesla's also holding up very well, and we could see more buyers step in as soon as we open. So give the market some time. And with that being said, I just want to say I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you guys very soon, in just a few hours. So take care, do what you have to do, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon again. Thank you for listening, and peace out.